Hello from beautiful fall-like but rainy Northeast Ohio. Today is a really exciting day. We're heading out on our trip from Northeast Ohio to Las Vegas, Nevada to pick up our youngest son, then on to Zion National Park, then eventually to Denver, where we're putting our son and Mrs. E-Hermes on an airplane to come back, and then I will be driving back to Northeast Ohio. So it's a really exciting trip to go on Angel's Landing hike with me and my son, and Mrs. E-Hermes is coming along to claim the bodies. Welcome to E-Hermes, your electric adventure travel channel. Please remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content. Here is our proposed route. It is just over 2,100 miles. Actually, the GPS keeps alternating between Interstate 80 through Chicago or Interstate 70 through Columbus, Indianapolis. Anyways, you end up just outside Denver in either case. So depending on what it says when we get there, we will stay on 80 or we'll go down 271 Interstate 70. But when I looked at my phone, it also had this northern route, so that's probably what we'll take. Already the route has changed. We've gone, I don't know, 15 miles. We're going to take the southern route, I-271 to Interstate 70. This has me going through Texas. I know there's another option to go up through Colorado, so I don't know which one we're going to take. I'm just going to keep following the truck's directions. Whatever it says to do, that's what we're going to do. So we have made it to our first stop. It took 2 hours, 26 minutes. We went 166.2 miles, averaged 1.8 kilowatt hours per mile. No, 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. I always get that backwards. Generally went 75, except in the urban areas around Cleveland and Columbus. But between there, we kept a good even 75. We started with 84%, and we're ending with 11%, so we used 73%. This is the weird spot where you leave Ohio here, and the Welcome Indiana sign is a couple miles up here somewhere. Kind of small. We're in the South Indianapolis Walmart, Electrify America. I usually don't take a 350 because there are other cars that can use it more efficiently, but there's nobody else here, and I do get a much faster speed, over 150 when I'm on the 350. So we're going to use that. We're only going to be here about 10 minutes, and like I say, there's nobody else here. Looky here, looky here. Got a Rivian charging beside me with a camper on it. Not the one that comes with them. That's an aftermarket one they purchased. Well, we are calling it quits for today at the Quality Inn in Vandalia, Illinois. We have driven 507.5 miles, 9 hours and 35 minutes. We've actually been on the road 10 hours altogether, including stopping for charging, restrooms, eating, etc. And we will hopefully get an early start tomorrow. I'd like to get about 800 or 900 miles in tomorrow. That'll get us just short of Denver, and that'll give us 2 more days then to get to Las Vegas. See you in the morning. Here we go on day 2. A new thing. We have some frost on the windshield. It is 34 degrees. It's just before 7 a.m. Hopefully we can get about 12 hours in today. This is the shipping canal along the Mississippi River that goes around what's called the Chain of Rocks, which is a section of the Mississippi River where there's a rock outcropping, kind of a rapids and waterfall just outside St. Louis. And this is the Mississippi River. That is the Chain of Rocks over there. The steel bridge you see is the old Route 66 bridge. It's very interesting because right there it has a curve in the middle of the bridge. You can actually walk out on that from, well, certainly from the east end and the Missouri, Illinois end towards St. Louis. I don't know if you can get to it from the St. Louis end. It's a little bit sketchy, but it's kind of interesting to walk out there. So of course that does then bring us to Missouri. Here we are in our first charging stop for the day. We only had about half a charge when we left the hotel this morning. This is at the Walmart Sam's Club, just northwest of St. Louis, Missouri. We're at a 350 kilowatt charger. We're ramping up here. And we're getting really good speeds. 170 for a minute there, 168. I'll take it. Well, it has happened yet again. Got the charging set up, went to sit down and have breakfast. They brought me my meal. I got notified I had to come get the truck because the charging was complete. It's just too fast sometimes. Our second charging stop today is at the EV Connect in Columbia, Missouri. Now this is the kind of amenities we need more of. It is at the Cannabis Superstore. They even have a drive-through. But sadly, it is for medicinal use only. It is not for recreational use. So unless you have a prescription, you cannot purchase any in Missouri at this time, although there is currently a ballot initiative to change that. Okay, we have made it to Topeka, Kansas. We crossed over about 45 minutes ago to the Electrify America charger. It took me 1, 2, 3 tries to get a charger to work, which is not ideal. I'm going to use a 150. It's the only one that worked. Looks like I'm going to get about 114 kilowatts, which is fine because we're going to go over to Juan Peppers and have lunch. Sorry about that, I had the wrong Peppers. It is Jose, not Juan. Jose Peppers. So Jose Peppers, Mrs. E-Hermes is having the steak bowl, and I am having the mahi bowl. And she is having the traditional frozen margarita. I'm having a Diet Coke because I'm driving. So this is the Skyline Mill Creek Scenic Drive in Kansas. I came upon this cool old school building built in 1883, it says. So this is how the GPS is taking me back to the highway from the Skyline Mill Creek Scenic Tour. Quite the interesting roadway.
This is not necessarily a great sign.
All right, Mrs. E-Hermes is videotaping with one hand on the oh shit handle. Ugh. So we could not get over this pipe without either taking a chance of getting a flat tire or tearing up the underside of the truck. Mostly the running boards. Everything else is pretty well protected. So we're going to back up and go around. We successfully backed up, turned around, and went around. This is the other end of Bobcat Creek Road where we would have come out. This one doesn't have a sign, so I'm not sure if it was a church or a school, but it is from 1890. So after our little off-road adventure, Mrs. E-Hermes needed a little something to settle her nerves. We found Prairie Fire Winery. They had delicious samples, and we bought a bottle and a couple candles. We are at Electrify America in Salina, Kansas. It is at a Casey's General Store. Instead of a Walmart, it is Electrify America. We're getting 163 kilowatts. Then I want to tell you about a change in plans for the rest of the trip. Let me zoom out. Down the area of Telluride, Silverton, Ouray, Colorado is real scenic. And I wanted to stop there since we're going nearby. So we're going to take a little bit of a detour down, I think it's Federal Route 24. Instead of going on 70 through Denver, we're going to take 24 across Colorado. Then we'll continue on from there to Las Vegas to pick up Frankie. I like this installation at the Casey's General Store because both the Ford and the Rivian have front charge ports. So even if I was pulling a trailer, you pull straight in. So you can pull in and charge without blocking anything else. Yes, you have to be able to back up your trailer, but if you can't do that, you probably shouldn't be pulling it in the first place. Here we are in Hays, Kansas. We only need a very little charge here. I didn't quite stay long enough with the other one. But the good news is me and Mrs. E-Hermes both have to use the restroom. So we're gonna run in. By the time we use the restroom, come back, we'll be done. The other thing, I've had a lot of trouble today with the Electrify America app. The way I've been able to charge mostly is through the Ford app. It has allowed me to initialize the devices and get them started. I'm not sure what's going on with the Electrify America app, but things are working well through the Ford app. On long open highway stretches like this, the hands-free driving with the F-150 Lightning is quite relaxing and takes some of the strain and stress out of driving. It's substantially better than the Tesla Autopilot, Although I have to say on back roads and regular 2-lane highways, the autopilot is preferable. Here we are at the Colby, Kansas DC fast charger, Electrify America. It is at the Walmart Supercenter. And this will be our last charge of the day. We'll be stopping at a hotel shortly. We have gone just over 700 miles so far today. And we've been on the road for 14 hours total time, including the shenanigans we had doing our off-roading and wine tasting and restrooms and charging and meals. Well, we made it 770 miles today. Part of Illinois, all the way across Missouri, all the way across Kansas and into Colorado. Now we're going to spend the night at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Burlington, Colorado. We'll pick it back up again in the morning, where we're heading for Ouray, Colorado for the night tomorrow night. Good morning. We are headed from here in extreme eastern Colorado to Ouray, Colorado, up in the mountains. We're going to follow this route down through Colorado Springs. We'll be going down around Telluride and that area. Then from there, we'll maybe take a different route to Las Vegas, even from what's on the map now. Starting out with a new 0-day trip meter. So here we go. Just a half hour in today, we're going to stop for our first charge in Flagler, Colorado at the I-70 Diner, Electrify America charger. With the wind, and I must be going uphill towards the mountains in Denver and Colorado Springs, where actually we're going to. I'm only getting 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is shockingly low. So hopefully when we get off on some of the back roads and we're going a little slower, because I've been going 80, we'll do a little better. So it is a typical old style diner. Food's good, service is good.
That's right.
Mrs. E-Hermes is good.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's a problem.
But they do have limited hours, at least for the winter. We finished up breakfast. And look at this. We're at 89%, so it's time to go. It always fills my heart with joy when I see the mountains. We are at the Electrify America charging station in Colorado Springs at the Sam's Club, and what a fiasco. There are 6 chargers here. 4 of them are inoperable. Only 2 of them are working, and they're not getting very good speeds out of the one. We're actually getting 170 kilowatts out of the 350, so that's pretty good. This is an important charge for us because coming clear across the country, basically, we had no problems along the major interstates finding chargers, and they all worked very well. This one's a little disappointing, but after this, we're actually going off kind of in more remote areas, so we're gonna have to find slower chargers and kind of hunt and peck for them. I think we have a plan to get to Ouray. The state of Colorado has a really good program where they've got chargers scattered throughout the states off the interstates to allow for this type of trip, so we're gonna give that a try next. So here we are at the Safeway in Salida, Colorado, where Ford's navigation brought me to charge to the Rivian Adventure Network. And Rivian does have chargers here that will work in all J1772 or CCS vehicles. However, the fast chargers down at this end are only for Rivian vehicles, so we can't charge fast here. So our choice is to use a J1772 here, which is 11.5 kilowatts, or go to another charging station in town, which I think has 50 kW. So that's what we're gonna do. I don't know why Ford would have taken me to that slow Rivian charger when there's a 125 kW charger right down the road. This one is from ChargePoint, and it's in cooperation with the state of Colorado. They have these scattered all over the state for areas that don't have, Electrify America. They're smaller towns like this. Although this one has a nice little restaurant here you could eat at. Beautiful scenery in the background. And it is powered by 39 solar panels up on the roof above it. So you're undercover, kind of, and using solar power to charge. Very nice. Thank you, state of Colorado. So near the chargers in Salida, they're building this fairly new neighborhood along the river of small, I would hope affordable, homes right along a creek that runs through it. That's going to be a future phase over there. And look at those views out your back window. So the young man charging this Chevy Volt, I forget which one it is, told me this is called Charge Forward Colorado. It's a state program to get medium fast charging into more rural areas, and it works really well. We're on Federal Route 50, and we've already passed one of these we didn't need to stop at because they're spaced fairly close together. And we're going to Ouray, and there's a station there as well. I don't know if it's the same program, but there's a charge point there that's about this 150-ish kW charging. So we're really happy with these and appreciate the state of Colorado and their program. So here we are at Monarch Pass. This is Orchid's first snow and unfortunately first salt. Didn't really plan on that. Mrs. E-Hermes says it's too cold to get out of the truck. She's staying in there. It's 38 degrees and there's been plowable snow here. Even during the winter, always and everywhere, there is construction. Here we are at the Ouray, Colorado charging station. After our day traveling today, we're spending the night here in Ouray, and we have this charger near the Ouray Hot Springs Park. It is another one of those Colorado subsidized stations, charge point stations, and it is another wonderful location. They have these scattered about the state in areas that are underserved by like Electrify America because they're more off the beaten path. But we're very happy to have it here with us so we can charge tonight, and then we're staying here in Ouray for the evening. So here's our room in Ouray. It's right on Main Street. Has a metal ceiling. Neat doors into the restroom. Clawfoot tub. Corner shower. It's a neat place. And this is the Omogee's great room / bar. Oh yeah. Yesterday was a pretty short day. We only did 421 miles. That's because we were mostly on back roads. We did average 2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is much better than we've been doing. Goes to show when you slow down, things are better. So today we're headed towards Las Vegas. We're going to make one more stop somewhere along the way. Don't quite know the route yet. We're just going to make it up as we go. We didn't get into enough trouble going off-road a few days ago, so we're trying it again. Trying to get to the Four Corners Monument and then to Las Vegas is difficult, to say the least. There's just not a lot of charging infrastructure in this area. The charger we're at now is one of the best ones, and then we have to get all the way down to either Winslow, Arizona, or we have to go back up north up to Interstate 70 and across, because there's a lot of Tesla supercharger locations, but not enough CCS chargers in this region. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do in the long run, but for now we're going to go to the Four Corners Monument, and if we have to come back here to recharge, that's what we'll do. When we get to the monument, we'll program in Las Vegas and see what it tells us. So we're going to get all 4 of them here at once, but right now we're coming into New Mexico. Sorry about the dead bug in the windshield.
What?
Mrs. E-Hermes in all 4 states at once, plus on Navajo land, so we're really in 5 locations. So we easily made it to the Four Corners, and now we're heading on to Las Vegas. Finding chargers is a bit of a problem. The quickest route is going to be to go almost due south down to Interstate 40 and across up to Las Vegas. I would prefer to go across northern Arizona and by the Grand Canyon, the north rim of the Grand Canyon, but because there's no charging infrastructure there, we'll have to go down near the interstate. It's unfortunate. If they had a program like Colorado has where they have these relatively fast chargers in rural locations, it would really help the rural economy, but Arizona hasn't done that, so we will have to go on the interstate. We made it to the Gallup, New Mexico Electrify America at the Walmart, of course. Oh, the sun's right in my eyes. Okay. This is going to take like 2 hours. It's not going to take that long because we're getting 162 kW. So we'll see what this is going to do. We're not going to stay that long because now that we're along the interstate, the next one's pretty close. So we'll just keep hopping along till we get to Las Vegas. Once again, we are getting really good charging speeds. It was about 163. It's 158 now, approaching 50%. So I'm very pleased with the charging speed of this station. Here we are at the Walmart Supercenter, of course, in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's Mrs. E-Hermes in a Ford. Taking a look at me. That'll get it done. We don't have to be here long because our next charging stop is our last charging stop of the day. It's also where we're spending the night, and the charger's in the hotel parking lot. So all we have to do is get there, and then we can get a completely full charge, and then we may not even need to charge tomorrow to get to Las Vegas, or if we do, it'll just be one quick stop. Today was a pretty relaxing day. We did a lot of sightseeing. We didn't really try to put a lot of miles on, really not even 500 miles today. So we had a good time up in the mountains and at the Four Corners, and now we are here for the night. We are at the La Quinta Inn and Suites, which I don't know if they added all this green to match their chargers, but the Electrify America chargers are right here, and the Grand Canyon Brewing Company is right there. So we have everything we need. So we're gonna hook up, get charged, go have dinner, and then I'll move it, and we'll go in for the night. We'll pick it up in the morning. We start our fifth and final day of our odyssey from Cleveland to Las Vegas with 98% charge, thanks to the charging stations right here at the hotel. Let's go get Frankie. So as you can see, because we had such a deep charge last night at the hotel, we actually have enough charge to get all the way to Las Vegas. We don't, the circle here tells you how far you have to go, but we have to use the restroom. So we're gonna use the restroom here and get a little more charge, and then we will find a place in Las Vegas at our leisure. Like I say, we have 58%, so we don't really need this charge, but since we had to stop anyhow, and a charger was here, we might as well take advantage of it. Kill two birds with one stone, as it were. So as I said, we didn't really need to charge. We did need to use the restroom. And then when we got out of the truck, it's at a King supermarket. Up the road, I saw Dunkin' Donuts. So we haven't had that all trip, so we couldn't pass that up. It'll probably add to the restroom issues later, but we'll deal with that another time. In the meantime, the truck is almost up to 80% from charging, just from us walking to Dunkin' Donuts and back. As Mrs. E-Hermes corrected me, we are in Kingman, Arizona. The grocery store is Smith's. And in any case, we are back at the car, and we are over 80%, so we're just gonna go. So this stop really cost us no time because we had to stop for other reasons anyhow. And we just charged as kind of a side. Here we go. So here we are, deep within Lake Mead. In fact, our son in Las Vegas just texted Mrs. E-Hermes and said, "It shows you guys are underwater," and by all rights, we should be underwater. If you can see where the white ring is way up there. Now, it wasn't always that high. That's kind of the highest point. But we should probably be 30 or 40 feet underwater right about now, and we're not. We did have a little bit of excitement coming down the road. I got about 3/4 of the way down here, and the tire pressure warning light came on, and Mr. E-Hermes says, "That's not funny." And I said, "No, it's not funny, but it is what it is." Fortunately, I always carry, let me see if I can get the phone here. I always carry a patch kit, an onboard compressor. We were able to plug the tire. Hopefully it'll at least get us out of the canyon here and into civilization. I'll have to have it patched properly then. Well, that concludes our trip. We have gone today only 230 miles because we spent time changing flat tires during our off-road adventures. The entire trip was 2,426.4 miles. We were driving for 48, almost 49 hours. We averaged 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. That includes going 85 on the expressway and off-roading and all those other things. So your mileage could be better if you didn't drive as fast and if you didn't do crazy off-road things. As I said, that concludes this trip, or more properly, this part of the overall trip. This is like a prequel of a 3-part video with the main event yet to come. That will be our trip to Zion National Park, among others, and hike to Angel's Landing. That is the main event with this prequel and the Drive Back Home sequel, the other two parts of the trilogy. So now more than ever, make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, and by all means hit that bell button to be notified of these upcoming videos. Thank you!